Okay, guys, so here we go. Let's go ahead and do this today. So, our objective for the day, no questions today while we're going to do it. We're just going to watch it on YouTube. I can compare linear functions in different forms. Okay, so copy that down for me. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. All right, so here's our objective. I can compare linear functions in different forms. Okay, so let's kind of review a little bit from what we did last week to start off with. Talk about functions. Which are functions? Okay, which one is a function? Which ones are a function? All right. Jeez, x's are different. So if I look at the first one on the left, are my x's all different? Yeah, my x's are all different, right? So I got -4, I got -2, I got 0, I got 2. So that means that yes, the one on the left in the table is a function. What about the one on the right side with the ordered pairs right here? I got 4, I got 5, and I got 4. Are they all different? No, they're not. So that's going to be not a function. And what about the mapping down here? I have 8 that goes to 6, so I have 8 and 6. I have 8 that goes to 7, and I have 10 that goes to 8. So are they all different? Nope, they're not, so that makes it not a function. Okay, so a little function review there for us. Not a big deal, hopefully. Okay, let's move on to the next part. Today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about equations, we're going to talk about stories, we're going to talk about graphs, and we're going to put them all together and compare and answer questions about them. So the way the day is going to go is I'm going to have two different situations, and then you're going to compare them as we do it. All right, so here we go. So Tiny Gym has a membership deal where you pay $10 per month and you can get a training session for $4 per class. Okay, so I'm gonna change a word here. So $10. Let's just change that $10 for the first. Oops, first. All right, so our first situation is that Tiny Gym has a membership deal where you can pay $10 for the first month and you can get a training session for $4 per class. Write an equation for this situation. We've done this before, okay? Go ahead and write me the equation. What would it be? So my equation would be y equals, right? How much is it per class? 4x. How much do I start with? It costs me $10 per month. And there we go. Okay, now my question about that is if I take 4 classes, how much will it cost you per month? So just kind of refresh our memory here. Right, I got y equals, it would be 4 times the 4 classes, right? Plus 10, right? And then so my equation, my answer would be how much would it cost? 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 10, it cost me $26 if I took 4 classes a month, right? Okay, let's keep going. Here we go. All right, now this one is a table for Jumbo Gym. All right, write an equation to model this situation. So now I'm going to take it from a table. All right, so I have y equals. Okay, now what do I need to do? We did this all week last week in the bell ringer. I think you're in the bell ringer today. Okay, we're going to count our slope here. What's my difference between 5 and 11? So 5 and 11, that's going to be 6. What's my difference in the top? 6 over 1. X. And then what's my slope? Remember, if it's nice for me, I use the one that has 0. What's my y-intercept? Where does it start? It costs $5. Okay, so there's my equation. Y equals, we're going to simplify, 6x plus 5. And there's my equation from that table. So when I look at these two together, what do you notice? Okay, well, I notice a couple different things. The y-intercept, what does this mean? So I have plus 10 here, and I have plus 5 here. So what does that mean? Well, that means that on the Tiny Gym, okay, on the left one, that it costs $10 a month to join. The Jumbo Math costs $5 a month. So the Tiny Gym on the left is more expensive at the beginning, right, to just go to the gym. But then what do you notice about our slopes? What do you notice about the 4 and the 6? And what does that mean in the problem? Well, that means that I'm going to have, for the one on the left, $4 a class, and the one on the right, $6 for a class. So as I look at this, let's talk about, and this is really the reason why we would ever do this, is because I want to know which is the better deal, all right, if I'm going to go to a certain amount of classes. So if I look at the one on the left on TinyGym, let's look at 2 classes to begin with. Okay, so let's go ahead and figure that out. So I would go y equals 2, or sorry, not 2. How much is it per class? $4 per class. 4 times 2 plus 10. Okay, so I figure out that cost. It'd be 4 times 2, which is 8, plus 10 is per class, times 2 plus 5. Okay, so I go y equals 6 times 2, which is 12, plus 5 is 17. So if I was only going to go to 2 classes a month, it would make sense to go with this one, right? It's cheaper if I was only going to go to 2 classes a month. But what if I'm going to go to more classes a month? Like what if I'm going to go to 8, let's just say? So I'd have y equals 4 times 8 plus 10. Okay, or 6 times 8 plus 5. Okay, now you're going to see a pretty big difference here because 4 times 8 would be 32. 32 plus 10 is 42. So it costs me $42 if I go to Jumbo Gym and I go to 8 classes. 2 classes a week. If I go to Jumbo, 6 times 8 is 48. Okay, and 48 plus 5 is 53. So if I'm going to go to that class, or if I'm going to go to 8 classes, I'd rather go to the TinyGym. See how that kind of works? So see how you could figure out the difference there? You could figure out which one is a better deal. All right, let's keep going. Let's look at another example. All right, Quentin's buying books from a bookstore. The price is $7.50 per book. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. This isn't too bad, right? I got y equals, write the equation for me real quick. Pause the video if you need to. Y equals $7.50 per book. The online is only $7, but you have to pay $1.50 up front. So which one is more expensive? Which one is more expensive? If you're going to buy 6 books. All right, so let's see here. Here we go. Let's do the first one. I got Y, the in-person bookstore. $7.50 times 6. My second equation, y equals 7 times 6 plus 150. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. I got $7.50 times 6. So that means the cost of the one on the left, it would cost me $45. The one on the right, 7 times 6 plus 150 would cost me $43 and 50 cents. Okay, all I did, guys, was I just plugged into my equation. I just solved it. So in this case, I would figure out that the online one is a better deal. What if I was going to do 10 books, though, real quick? Let's try 10. Okay, so I got 10 times $7.50. On the right side, 7 times 10 plus 150. You can see that the same way, right? 7 times 10, 70. And then I would have 71.50. Okay, so it'd still be cheaper to do the online version. Cool. Any questions? So far, so good? Okay, let's keep going. We got 2 more examples. The graph shows Morgan and Brian typed correctly words. There's a table here, and there's going to be a graph in just a second. Okay, now I got to get my y-intercept. Now this one, okay, think about this problem with me, though. If I think about, hey, if I'm going to take a typing test, how many words do I start typing at the beginning? Well, I start with 0, right? I don't start with any words already typed. Also, think about this reverse pattern here. I know that each one of these gaps is 30, right? I know that each one of these gaps is 2. So if I go down 2, it's going to be at 0. Which means if I go down 30, it's also going to be at 0. So there's my first equation. And we could simplify that and make it y equals 15x. So Morgan types 15 words per minute. Okay. And then I have a point right here, really. How far do I go? Over 1x. Okay. And then what's my y-intercept? Where does she start? Where does Brian start at? He starts at 0. So his equation, y equals 20x. Okay? So I have my two equations here. Oops, I messed up Morgan's equation here. Let me fix that. Should be 15. Okay. So after 10 minutes, who typed the most words? Here we go. Y equals, you can probably figure this out because Morgan only types 15 minutes, or 15 words a minute, and Brian types 20. And there we go, right? 15 times 10, 150. And 20 times 10, 200. Okay? All right, guys, so we'll come back together, and we will talk about some more examples. We'll do a different one together, but that's it for today. All right, we'll talk to you soon.